In 2024, I lost 40 pounds in 4 months and my body fat percentage went from 40% to 30%. Now 30% body fat percentage is still very high. So in the last couple of months, I've been doing a fat loss journey series so that I can go into my lower 20s, and I'm really loving my results so far. So in today's video, I'm giving you 7 really good tips that are helping me to decrease my body fat percentage, and if you follow these tips, you may be able to see really great results as well. Hello and good morning and welcome back to my channel. I'm Naturally Ray, or you can just call me Ray. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and like this video if it is that you like content like this and you're on your journey to become the healthiest and best version of yourself. So one of the first things I started implementing was the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time I will eat whole, unprocessed or minimally processed foods, and 20% of the time I enjoy my treats, my cheat meals. So we have some processed food. Of course, everybody knows the processed foods, the cakes, the cookies, the brownies, all of the different snacks that maybe don't have the best ingredients, and of course your pizza, your fried foods, your fries, your chicken, your burgers, all of that good stuff. I'm the type of person where I need to have some kind of balance. I know there are persons that will do very restrictive diets, and I have tried that in the past. Trust me, this is not my first rodeo when it comes to losing weight. There are many times where over the last couple of years where I lost weight, I gained weight, I lost weight, I gained weight, and only in this last, I would say, year and a half, I've really dialed in and stay a little more consistent and disciplined with all of my habits, and I'm seeing really great results. Now, when it comes to the 20% where it is you have that balance, you have to be very careful. One of the things that really helped me to stay on track with knowing how to gauge my 80 to 20% was doing more home cooked foods versus foods that I eat outside. Now, I'm not saying that you can't find different food places and restaurants where you can get a nice chicken salad or even some salmon or fish or something that is more on the healthier side, but the reality is when it is you do more home cooked foods, you know exactly how much salt is going to your food, how much sugar is going to your food, all of the different sauces, what they put in their sauces, so you're able to keep a little more track as to exactly what you are consuming, because at the end of the day you really want to make sure that you stay in a calorie deficit. No, I know this is not something that a lot of people like to talk about, but the reality is, if it is you are trying to lose fat, specifically your stubborn belly fat, you have to be in a calorie deficit. I always tell people you do not have to track your calories for a very long time. I recommend that you at least try and do it for a couple of weeks. Download the MyFitnessPal app, and for the majority of persons, we eat very similar foods. So you eat very similar foods for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Just track it for a couple of weeks, and after a while you should get accustomed doing it. Now, if you are very adamant you do not want to download the app, you don't want to track anything, maybe consider doing portion control. I actually tried that in the beginning of my journey. I actually had a whole set of meal plans. I think it was about 14 or 15 meal plans that my cousin did for me, and it was so good because I told myself I am not counting any calories. So it was really easy where the meal plan, all of the calories were already calculated for me. I just needed to follow exactly what it said for breakfast, lunch, dinner and snack and just eat it, and I saw great results when I stuck to it. As I started implementing a lot of different meals and different snacks, I just had to make sure that I download the FitnessPal app so I would actually know how much I am consuming. Now, I am telling you all, if you are doing everything right and you're not tracking your calories, that may be your downfall. You just may be eating more than you think. So just consider doing it. Again, you do not need to do it for months and months. Do it for a couple of weeks. Get accustomed to how much you eat. Get a gauge as to how much you eat. And then after a while, you can just eyeball it. And if it is that you may be falling off track a bit, there there's nothing wrong with tracking for a couple weeks again, just to make sure that you're actually seeing the results that you want. Now, the thing with being in a calorie deficit, yes, you may have a little less energy, yes, you may experience some hunger, and no, I am not talking about starvation. If it is that you are starving, it means that you are doing this whole fitness and weight loss journey wrong. You may feel hungry. As a matter of fact, you will feel hungry at times, but you should never be starving. One of the easiest things that you can do to make sure that you are not starving is making sure that you prioritize your protein. I know it may sound a little annoying because everybody talks about protein. They have protein printed on so many different foods and snacks now, and I understand why people want to promote protein, because it is a macronutrient that really helps to keep you fuller for longer, and when it is you feel satiated, you would not constantly want to eat. Protein obviously is helpful to help with your cravings. It helps to reduce your cravings, and of course protein is really good when it is you considering building your muscle, which is something that we will talk about that is essential on your weight loss and your fat loss journey. But make sure that you're eating enough protein. It helps to balance out some of your, well, I wouldn't say some of, it helps to balance your sugar in terms of your sugar levels, helps to decrease that as well. And as I talk about cravings, that is something that is so important when it is you're on a calorie deficit. For some reason, well, at least for me, let me just speak to myself, my cravings could get out of control, but when it is, I make sure that I prioritize in protein, things are so much better. I want you to try your best to have 1 gram of protein per pound of your ideal body weight. So if it is that your ideal body weight is 140 or 150 pounds, then you want to eat somewhere close to 140 to 150 grams of protein. I tend to stick to closer to 100 grams of protein. My ideal body weight is somewhere close to like 120, 125, and I'm having that range because as I'm losing my body fat and I'm building muscle, I may end up being a little higher, because when it is I weigh myself, I end up being a little higher if I'm building muscle over time. So make sure that you stick within that range and you'll be fine. Something that you can try to do with all of your main meals, so for breakfast, lunch and dinner, is have about 30 to 40 grams of protein. Of course, when you have a little snack, try to include some protein there, and it should be relatively easy to at least get 100 grams of protein for your entire day. And if it is that your target is around 110, 120, I think that is a very good amount of protein to eat every single day. Another thing that also helps to keep you fuller for longer is increasing the amount of fiber that you eat. Now, here's the thing with fiber. It has the probiotics, it has prebiotics. Of course, they are excellent for your gut microbiome. Again, this is another topic that a lot of people talk about, but when it is you are really considering your health journey and your weight loss journey, you need to focus on your gut. You need to focus on all of the different prebiotics and probiotics. Make sure you get in your sauerkraut, your kimchi, your Greek yogurt. Get all of these fruits and vegetables. An easy thing that you can try and do when it is you're making your meals is have what they call the colorful meals or rainbow in your meals. So the reds, the blues, the yellows, all of these have those phytochemicals. Some of the berries have the antioxidants. All of these things really do help you out with your gut, and when it is your gut is healthy, when it is you're eating a lot of fiber, that inadvertently will help you to also reduce your belly fat as well. Now, you can implement a lot of healthy habits and healthy routines, but if it is that you are not in a calorie deficit, like I mentioned before, you will not see the results. And one of the things that helps me a lot to stay in a calorie deficit is doing a zone 2 cardio and increasing my daily movements. Now, I mentioned in a lot of videos that yes, 10,000 steps is a good number to reach, but if it is you get roughly between 8 to 10,000 steps, you can actually get a lot of the great benefits of losing your belly fat. When it is you stay in zone 2 cardio, in that particular zone, you tend to utilize more of your fat fuel rather than losing your muscle. Now, obviously, like I said, you can't just decide to just do walking or just eat protein and your overall calorie deficit is not low enough, because you won't see results. So all of these implement it together is what is going to help you. Now when it comes to zone 2, you will have to work it based on your age and your height. I would say, well, at least one of the layman's terms of knowing if you're in zone 2 cardio is that you're walking at a really good pace where you can actually have a conversation with someone, but it should not be easy for you to, I guess, sing. That's what they say. So work it out for you. For me, I think my range is somewhere like 110, 150, I can't remember, but there's always a range. Just, it's a very easy thing to calculate, but make sure that you're doing a lot of zone 2 cardio. The thing with walking is such a low barrier to entry. You don't have to go to the gym, you don't have to do any type of strenuous activity. It's low impact on your bone, it's low impact on your joints. It's such a low barrier to entry unless you have mobility issues, but you don't need anything fancy. It is generally free. I'm saying generally, it is free. Just walk around your house, walk on a treadmill, walk on a walking path, walk outside, because you get the benefits of walking in nature when you walk outside as well. Definitely try your best. I actually get a lot of times between 10,000 to 15,000 steps. Sometimes it's 14,000, 13,000, 12,000, and the thing is, it may seem like a really high number, but the reality is you can walk roughly 1,000 steps in 10 minutes. So just take little breaks here and there. Actually, it's a lot better for your digestion when it is you walk about 10-15 minutes after you eat. So that's something that will really help you to increase your steps. And don't try to walk an entire hour or 2 hours at one time. Do 15-20 minutes after your meals. Take little breaks throughout the day, and it will be very easy to walk around 8,000 steps if it is that you are following these rules. As I mentioned, zone 2 cardio that uses mainly fat for fuel because you don't want to lose your muscle mass. Make sure that you're focusing on strength training and resistance training. It is so key when it is you want to lose weight. Increasing your basal metabolic rate, your BMR, well, your metabolism for short. It makes sure that you can actually eat a little more food, so that in itself helps you with your calorie deficit. You tend to burn more calories at rest when it is you have more muscles. Always make sure that you focus on progressive overload. Don't do the same reps, same sets, same weights month after month after month. Yeah, you may see results for a short space of time when it is you just start lifting, but when it comes to actually seeing your stubborn belly fat go down, you need to make sure that you're increasing your reps, increasing your sets, increasing the weights that you lift, so that you can actually see great results. If at the moment you don't do any strength training, you don't do any resistance training, don't try to work out 4, 5, 6 times a week. Just do 1 day a week. Try to see what works best for your schedule, whether it's morning time, evening time. You don't even need to go to the gym. As a matter of fact, I have lost all of my weight so far without being in the gym. I have done all of my workouts at home. Since the beginning of the year, I've been saying I need to go to the gym, but I am a little apprehensive. I'm just trying to build up the courage and the confidence to go into a gym. I'm still actually looking for a really good gym that is a good distance from where I live and then in between work, all of that. But I will still say there are really good workouts on YouTube. No, be very careful. I think I mentioned this in a video before. Try your best to follow persons and do workouts where you have a proper program that you can get good form and persons that are very reputable in this field. Not everybody who is a fitness influencer and have a good physique know exactly what they're doing, and I know this from experience. Sometimes people can genetically look good, but sometimes there's a lot of misinformation in the videos that they give. So do your due diligence and make sure that you find reputable persons that can help you on your weight loss journey. Now, I cannot talk about losing weight, specifically losing my belly fat, without talking about getting at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep. I try my best to not have it in the last point in my videos, but for some reason it happens to come here at times. But this was something that I only found out later on in my journey. But I am telling you, if you are not prioritizing your sleep and you want to lose your lower belly fat, good luck. good luck. You need to prioritize your sleep. And another thing, your stress levels. Maybe this would be a bonus point, but you see your sleep and your stress levels, if you're not prioritizing that, your cortisol level is going to be high. You're going to have a lot of imbalances in your hormones. When it is you don't prioritize your sleep, your body is not rested, you're not rejuvenated, you're not recovering well. Your cravings tend to be a lot higher. You tend to crave more of the sugary foods, the high calorie foods, the ultra processed foods. You don't feed your body well when it is you are deprived of sleep, when it is you are stressed out. Now I know it can be difficult for some persons, whether it's their home environment, their work environment, where they're getting a lot of stress from, or even if it is that you work shift, or maybe you have very small children, it might be a little challenging to get those hours of sleep. But as much as you can, try to prioritize it, because your ghrelin levels, which is your hunger hormone, will definitely increase. Your leptin level, which is your satiety hormone, will drastically decrease, and it will throw off everything. And you really need to hone in on balancing your hormones, making sure that you don't have a lot of cravings, so that you can easily be in a calorie deficit. Because remember, being in a calorie deficit, you tend to be a little hungry, again, not starving. But if it is that you're not prioritizing healthy habits and healthy routines, you are making it a lot more difficult for yourself. So as much as possible, try to get your 7 to 9 hours of sleep, try to reduce your stress levels, and make sure that you are staying consistent with it. I really hope that the tips in this video helped you. Let me know some of the things that you've been doing on your health and your fitness journey. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and as always, try your best to become the healthiest and best version of yourselves. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.